Righto. Okay. Once again, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming in. Today is June 13th, and it is our bi-weekly AMA. I'm super hyped to hear what's going on. Unfortunately, I'm going to be a bit quiet for most of today's call. However, Human, our favorite and one and only, is going to be leading us and talking to us about the updates to the project. And with that, I'm going to leave it to you, Human. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, everybody, for coming as always. I know that global conditions right now are quite disheartening. We are on the brink of World War III. We'll see how China plays this upcoming stuff, but things are looking quite tense on the global conflict, global depression front. So just wanted to open up this AMA with a nice happy note about the end of the world. So everything is looking quite bleak, right? There's no such thing as good news right now. And truthfully, there hasn't been for almost a year, which is why the stock market was just incredibly irrational last year, because it was still just piles and mountains of bad news. But yet it was the greatest bull run in history. So that's why it was so irrational last year, and a lot of people were very confused. But now we're starting to see the effects of that terrible news market-wide. And that news is just getting worse and worse. Here in the United States, right, there's been an issuance for, national terrorism warning leading up until through September. So there's a lot going on, right? And then if we talk from a crypto standpoint, you have things like what just happened with Celsius, right? And that's going to continue happening. That's not the only place that's going to happen. A lot of crypto is based on crypto, which is a really stupid idea, but that's what was built. I've never really liked the idea of algo-backed stablecoins. I don't like the idea of anything crypto-backed. You shouldn't be backing the thing that you're running, right? You shouldn't back something that you're running with the thing that you're running, if that makes sense. And that's what a lot of crypto did and has done. And that's the effects we're seeing with something like, what happened with Tether, right? That was algo-backed, and look what happened. Now we have Celsius, right? If you have a Celsius account, your funds are frozen. And who knows if you'll ever see them again. Hopefully you do. Hopefully they have a plan to allow everybody to withdraw over time, as they're stating. But they simply don't have the liquidity. If everybody tried to withdraw right now, they couldn't do it. And as we lean towards a more and more just global, not so great, it's probably going to be even worse for crypto. Now we talk from a U.S. security side, right? There's been two really, really big developments that we're working with legal on right now. The first is really bad for us, so I'll start with that one. And that is BNB is, officially under investigation as being a security. That begs the question, projects that are forked off of BNB, do they inherit those security traits? Now, that's not necessarily a problem for us or most projects, because all we would do is move to a different chain or spin up our own chain, really. So there are options to get out of that if need be. I hope not. I like this chain, but if we needed to swap because of some sort of global, regulatory issue, then we have an out at least, right? Like, our back isn't against the wall from that perspective. The good news that we got is the bipartisan support. I can't remember what the name of it is. Let me pull it up real quick. The Responsible Financial Innovation Act, if you are interested. Feel free to give it a peek. It's very, very early stages. But what it's trying to do is it's trying to label most of crypto actually as a commodity instead of a security. That's really good for most crypto projects. That's really, really good. So take a look at that. And it's just the beginning stages, but it does have bipartisan support and it does look really good. So that's kind of from that perspective. So let me go into some product updates, and I will start with the worst updates as we build up to the best ones. So we'll start off with the front end that was being worked on. That did not end well at all. These folks that we hired presented us something that isn't at all what we hired them for. It wasn't even close, not by a long shot. And I outlined all the requirements. I showed them all of the conversations that I had with their team and stuff, and we did issue a refund. So we will be getting the money back at least, but it was a lot of lost time, unfortunately. And that's because we have the capacity to do that front end development internally, but we are working on so much that we thought outsourcing just the front end work would be a good move. Turns out it was not a good move. So we have started that development on our own, and we've already made significant progress. We welcome Chewy Scripts to the team as a front-end developer. Our team grows almost with every AMA, which is incredibly exciting. So welcome to the team. And between him and Alex, well, actually, Alex has not been doing front-end yet. He's still working on the auction system. I will post some pictures, just teasers. This is very, very early, so please understand. This is not final design or anything, but I did just want to show you all some of the progress that's being made. So I'm going to post some of these pictures in the AMA chat. But again, it is very, very early. This should give you an idea of some of the functionality, some of the layout, the kind of branding that we're thinking about. But the true functionality, sorry, I'm like trying to talk and get pictures and copy and paste them at the same time. So let me just copy this last one over. So that should give you some ideas as to the direction we're headed. If you see, there's like little bubbles of profiles that are above each one. Our platform actually is going to have a social media aspect to it, where you can have followers, you can have, comments and messages between different people. You can kind of network as well. In addition to the music stuff that we're going to be focusing on because of the partnership we established about, a month ago now with Penthouse Recording Studios. So take everything that we've been putting in, and it is getting very close to going into an open beta. From the back end, we have the entire contract is functional. We just started the development about a week and a half ago on a second smart contract to handle the auctions. We want to do that as a separate contract entirely. And we will likely have a third contract to manage the real world contracts, although the way we're storing that on IPFS via NFTs is already pretty clever. And I don't know that we're going to need a third contract for it. But yeah, so all that is functional, working, and it's starting to look good too now. So you can come in, you can choose what type of licensing agreement you want on your art, and you can list based on that. You can also run auctions, and those auctions can have varying values. Some you can have it set where once a cap is met, then it's taken, or a time delimited one. There's a lot of really, really cool features, and we plan on having the profile section being incredibly immersive because that's where we're going to put that customization platform, right? So you connect to the marketplace, you log in, you have your profile, which has all your stuff, your followers, your social media aspects and all of that, but it's also going to be where you can customize your bit when that moment comes to play. So I think that's pretty much the update on the NFT trading post. I think we'll be ready to go for the open beta in about 2 weeks, which is very exciting. I don't want to overpromise the deadline there, but the good news about that is it is us, right? There is no more third-party stuff on there. So not to put any of the pressure on Chewy, but a lot of the work right now is front-end work. So we're just going to keep feature building on the back end, and Chewy just got onboarded. So I don't want to say basically here on this AMA, hey Chewy, you have 2 weeks to figure this out. So we'll see. We'll talk a little bit more internally, but I think in around 2 weeks, we should be able to have an open beta going with minimal features running, start getting some feedback, projects listed. All of this will be running on the Binance testnet. So feel free to mint and do whatever you want, because it's not real. It's not real money. It's not real anything. We'll have the link to the faucet and everything that you need to go ahead and start participating. So I think that's it for the trading post. I'm very excited for us to have, some more utility, especially since that will bring us to the next step of all of this, which is the part I'm most excited for. And that's when we are a full-blown organization that's crowdsourcing information, resources, and skills, and see if you guys agree with the original roadmap I proposed, right? Because the next step after this would be the customization platform. But when we get to that stage, instead of me just saying, hey, we're doing the customization platform, that will be one of our first biggest DAO discussions. For that to happen, we need to wrap up the legal infrastructure. I have good news on that front. We have been working with legal. We do see a really good path forward and a clean way to do this to fit all of the regulatory compliance questions along the way. But that will take time. I'm hoping that will happen before July. But that may be a little bit ambitious of me. Because this is legal, right? And I can write up a full constitution, operating agreement, and everything. But for them to put it into legal speak is going to take time. So that's the goal there. But excellent news out of the months. Holy cow, we're getting close to a year of conversing with legal and regulatory bodies and trying to figure out exactly how to do all this. I think we finally got it. So that is really, really exciting. And it will just take a little bit of time to finalize. Update on the on-ramp. So turns out that the security discussion regarding BNB, likely our partners kind of already knew that or saw it coming, because that was the real delay in what's been happening. And I just recently found this out after having another conversation with them. They are preparing for that, because if it is indeed a security, they can't have an on-ramp that literally on-ramps you to purchasing unregistered securities. So what we're going to do in the near term is add a disclaimer, and the disclaimer will effectively say, if you are a US citizen, please don't do this. Please don't buy this. And then there will be a light KYC process, which would be something like, a picture of yourself and your ID in order to use the on-ramp. This is a temporary kind of Band-Aid until the US figures out which way it wants to go with the security versus commodity discussion. But that's how we're going to have to do the on-ramp in these early days. So that's been the real delay. And we're working towards having that set up now for the future. So that's the initial solution, is to add that light KYC plus the disclaimer that US citizens should not be using this. And then as time goes on and we continue developing and the industry continues developing, well, that piece of the puzzle will also continue developing. Also, I want to take that moment to just thank everybody for being here. I mean, this is amazing, right? We're in the middle of some of the most chaotic global conditions that likely any of us have seen in our lifetime. And here we are, right? We're still building in the mix of all of this chaos, and huge shout out to all the developers and everyone who's participating in the growth and building of this project, because no one's getting paid, right? We're doing this because we love this project. Like we love this idea. We love this community. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see that take shape and see people build more and more and just build cool things because we want to, right? It's not because we think it's profit. It's not because we're trying to make money. It's because we just want to build cool stuff in crypto. And I think eventually that building cool stuff in crypto will translate into something successful. But even if it doesn't, even if we never arrive, I will continue building on this, and I know a lot of folks will because it's just friggin' fun. So yeah, huge shout out to everybody. Okay, so that takes care of the on-ramp and the marketplace. The website, I think we might just reboot the website. Truth, the way it's set up right now, it's like, it was set up by a person that then we had to do a transition and just, it seems like more of a headache to figure out what was done rather than just rebuild with the same kind of templating. So we're going to work on that, but we do have a website relaunch in the backlog here. That is something we're going to work towards. That's largely waiting on the legal finishing up too, because we're going to want to put disclaimers on there. We're going to want to put the operating agreement, the examples of everything, how to vote, all this, instead of just what our website currently is, which is basically an overview of our roadmap, right? That's really, the website is a very, very detailed overview of our roadmap and what we're trying to do here. So that is also on the docket, as well as a DApp revamp. But I do want to talk about the part that's been the most exciting and the hardest to communicate, because it is all back-end development. It is all these are things that you don't see. Gustav just joined, and actually I'm going to let him talk about what he and Mike have been working on. It is absolutely incredible, the things that these gentlemen have achieved in the past few weeks. And I think that he might be able to explain a little bit better the types of features and the types of things we're going to be able to do with our leveling system and beyond, our entire infrastructure, because of what he started building here. So, Gustav, hey man.
Hi, Uman. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Excellent, my friend. Go ahead and take it away. Tell the people what you've been working on.
So in the last 4 weeks, basically, I learned how to read directly from the blockchain to be able to cache all the data about our transactions, our transfers, and having that data cached will be really helpful to to have amazing features, let's say. And first of all, at the moment, we are showing stuff like the token levels. Sometimes it's a bit bugged. You can see some negative values right now for token level 1, I've seen. And that's because we're using a third-party provider, which is costing money, and it's also a bit slow. And the way the interactions with that third party have been implemented in the past are not always optimized. So the best solution instead of that is to do the work ourselves, and that's what I've been doing in the last 4 weeks. So right now, in real time, we have immediately in our database any transfer that you are doing. These transfers are evaluated with your wallets in our database. So basically, the token edges and levels are recalculated every minute. Every minute we get the new transfers, but once every 10 minutes we are recalculating the token levels. So the dashboard do not use that yet, because I actually completed that part yesterday or the day before. And once we had that in the database, I didn't rush on the app to update it, but we worked with Mike on a different part. I wrote a new backend, which is actually which will actually provide the information about your token levels. And that's going to be used for the voting system. Maybe, Steve, you want to explain that part a bit better?
Yeah. So as you all know, the leveling system is by far the coolest part of this project, right? We have an awesome group of developers. We have an awesome community. We have a lot of really cool stuff. But the leveling system brings this unique element where we can do a lot of very clever things. So for instance, one of the things that we want to do for the voting structure is have different levels of votes, first of all, right? So like level 3 token holders, you'd be able to participate in any of the votes. But let's say a vote comes like the one we did with the brand book, something simple, right? Accepting a new logo or a new font or something of that nature. Well, that would pass the sanity test, and then we would propose that as a level 1 vote, meaning level 1 token holders get to participate in that vote, so they don't have to sit around for 3 months just waiting to be able to participate in the system, right? And then something a little bit more serious may fall into line as a level 2 vote, and level 2 plus token holders can participate in that discussion and voting, and so on and so forth, right? There's that buildup, and the leveling is just incredibly important for everything that we do, right? Talking about token gating. If we have a feature that we want only accessible to a certain level, if we want kind of like a subscription-based model, right? There's this new application that we're putting out, and there's, if you want access to the base model, all you have to do is own X amount of Many Worlds tokens. But if you want access to the premium page, then you're going to need level 2 tokens. And if you want access to the VIP features, you're going to need level 3 tokens, so on and so forth. So the token levels are just incredibly vital to everything we do, from the BUSD distributions down to what access you have and basically your membership level, right? Because Many Worlds tokens, really what they do is they represent your membership inside of the organization. Now, the quantity of your membership doesn't matter. That's important for a few reasons. And I won't bore you with more regulation stuff. I know I talk about that too much, but that is my primary focus on this project, is living through that. But there are important reasons to make it, one wallet makes you a member, right? That makes you a member. It doesn't matter how many tokens are in there. And then what level of member you are is determined by the level of your oldest tokens. So there is just an incredible amount of features that could be built out. And we had a system doing that, right? That's how the DApp worked. But as Gustav explained, there were some issues, making that scalability issues as well, and cleanly presenting that data, accessing it quickly and using it efficiently. Those problems are now all but gone. But beyond that, our entire infrastructure, everything, this entire project was built on an infrastructure of virtually a different team, right? So now you have this massive transition into a new team that spent a lot of time trying to work inside of that system before it became relevant and obvious that we should just rebuild the infrastructure. Not only can we do it more efficiently, but now everybody who is on the development team will be able to just easily step in and out of our ecosystem and leverage our tools for whatever we're working on, right? Chewy is building out this front end, and he doesn't need to understand how to read from the blockchain or anything, right? He'll just be able to call the API that Gustav is creating, right? So
correct.
And any developers anywhere, right? Anywhere inside, any of you, right? If you're not being directly on the team, doesn't mean much. What that means is you're a person working towards the overall vision of Many Worlds. But I just got an email from some guy that built out this Twitter functionality using the Many Worlds token levels, which I found incredibly fascinating. And we're going to have a conversation about what that can look like. And that's kind of the environment that's getting built. Is if you want access to go build something for Many Worlds, well, you'll just have that API. If you're a developer, you can build any idea that you have and use Many Worlds levels to give different access and rewards from that functionality that you're trying to build. So it's really, really cool the way we're setting up here. and I know this is all very different than what we originally intended, but the original launch and the original everything, it was different. It was different people, it was different times, it was different market conditions, it was different everything. It was a different understanding of how the regulations and laws work behind crypto. So now we are in this massive preparation phase of building infrastructure, building legal compliance, building all of these things. So that way, once that foundation is set, anyone inside or outside of the Many Worlds ecosystem can participate with all of our functionality. So it's super cool. Like, what we're building is just super friggin' cool. And maybe it doesn't sound like that if you're not a developer, but if you are a developer or even non-developers in the crypto space, I'm sure you can imagine how neat of an idea this is. It's almost like Linux for crypto, right? Like, we're deploying Linux and people could spin up Ubuntu or whatever. I don't know why I'm using a computer reference to try to explain a computer thing that I said you may not understand. So forget about it. Forget about that part. So yeah, Gustav, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, that you summarized it well. But yeah, that's really incredible to know that right now, basically, if you call one API, you can know your token levels and provide some access with that. Like, yep. Basically, you could open your garage door with token tree levels now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So what we're having here now is, like, eventually, once this is set up and we have that infrastructure, the voting structure down, the legal side down, everything is done, then we're going to go ahead and open the floodgates, right? Not only to our own utility, which we're, going to bring in NFT projects and bring in musicians and bring in all these things to start using this utility, but we'll also open up the APIs so that any developer out there, anyone who's interested in the crypto space that wants to have that leveling thing, because I can't express how big of a deal the leveling thing is. Like, that's the idea that a lot of people want and don't necessarily know how to use. And here we have a project that allows you to do it. So why go build your own token? Why go build your own anything when you can just use our API and you can just use this functionality to build the application that you want? And then you can set it up yourself. You can say, you have to use Many Worlds or whatever it is, but you're the one deploying the app. So if there's any profits or anything to be made, you just put that into your wallet. But using our token is the cool part of it. So there's a lot of use case for a token that can level up infinitely. A lot. And it's just a matter of getting it into the hands of the right people as time goes on. So I'm really excited. I know this probably just seems so boring from the user perspective, but all this infrastructure we're building is with the intent of creating an incredibly solid foundation for which we never have to deal with anything like this ever again, right? Once that's there, that's it. Now it's just build new things and use that infrastructure to build it effectively. For instance, if I have an interview this evening at 7:00 to talk about the Responsible Financial Innovation Act, and I'm going to be talking about Many Worlds on there. And I'm sure I will be asked, as I always am, well, how is Many Worlds structured? And, how are you guys dealing with this? And my response is going to be the same as it always is. Well, we're not. We're trying our best. And we're trying to figure out where it fits, but the rules just aren't very clear. And I am very excited for the moment that not only are the rules clear, not only can we discuss what Many Worlds specifically is and how it operates in the real world, but our tech stack is also solidified so that it can just be utilized as well. And we are very close to that point. It's been a long time in the works, a big team transition, and a whole lot of tears. But we have it in our sights now. We have everything is coming together finally. So at that point, I think it's a good time to open it up for questions. you can either raise your hand or type it in the AMA chat. Totally up to you. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. If not, that's a-okay. Excuse me, I just burped and I don't know if you guys heard that.
We didn't hear that, but now we all know it.
Great.
Hibiscus had a question about a possible change to ETH on the blockchain, I mean.
Oh, yeah. So if we did have to rotate chains, if it came down to that, honestly, the first thing I'd want to explore is how hard is it to just start our own? The second step I'd want to explore is honestly probably Chronos. But this would be a DAO discussion, right? This would be a DAO discussion. Ethereum, I'm personally not the biggest fan of, largely due to cost. It's just incredibly expensive. If they really do get the proof of stake thing up and running and those gas fees are dramatically reduced, maybe. But I think there are a lot of good chain options out there. So we'll see. But it doesn't matter, right? My opinion matters. But that's a DAO talk now, right? Getting into that world, if we did have to rotate, that is not a me thing. Like the DAO discusses it. I will give my opinion and I will be very loud about my opinion, as I always am. But I will not be the decision maker. We will be the decision maker. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't think there's a need to even consider rotating to a different chain yet. I don't imagine Binance is just going to roll over unless, well, maybe they will. They honestly may just be like, whatever, call us a security. We'll pay the fees because they have enough money to deal with it. But I don't think they want to deal with the laws and things that they need to deal with to be a security. So I don't know that it's just a money thing. It's a convenience thing. So who knows how long? If the investigation just started, that could be another year or two before we even see any headway on that. So I don't think we're anywhere near that discussion. But, we could start planning towards it.
Yeah, look at Ripple. There is a trial going on for 5 years now.
Exactly. And the can just got kicked again. So it's just, you don't know. We're in a giant environment of you don't know, and all we can do is continue building and do our best to comply. That's literally the only thing we can do, and that's all we have been doing up to this stage. We just keep building stuff, and if something changes on that side, we rotate, adjust fire, and see how we can make it work. I am very confident that this newest set of the legal team's idea is a very good one. I think it's a very good one, and I think it's going to work and fit exactly what we're trying to do here. So we'll see how that pans out. Like I said, I think I should have a more firm answer on that in the next 2 weeks or so. I'm assuming by the end of July. So yeah, that was a bit of a long-winded answer for Ethereum. Are there any other questions? I don't see any hands, and I don't see anyone typing in AMA chat. So Matt, Gustav, do you have any last words? Or
I think that Hibiscus also had another question about how close regarding the marketplace, I guess. I'm not sure. Is that what you meant, Hibiscus?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was addressing that one. My thought, the smart contracts are in place. It's functional. We're already testing it on Binance testnet. Realistically, we could just open it up to open beta now, but the front end isn't done. So Chewy, I think, can get the front end to a point of open beta in the next 2 weeks. That's my guess. But,
Oh, Chewy, maybe you want to come here and just say hi and give your initial thought of the project or anything you want to share, maybe?
Yeah, it's not a bad idea if you want to Let's see. There we go. Hey, buddy.
Hello, can I be heard?
Yep.
Hey there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll try my best and get it done. Probably won't be pretty, but it will be at a stage where everyone can test on it and, hope it. And then it will just keep getting prettied more and more until it's ready for official launch.
So you don't think I'm being too ambitious with a functional front end 2 weeks out?
As long as it's mainly just structuring the, it's just getting the pages sort of done, the structure, HTML layouts. It's really just, I just be connecting. It's like just a jigsaw, I want to say. I just, connecting to the API and making sure that works well and is secure, and then adding a bit of validation. I think it's going to be quite straightforward. And obviously, as I'm not doing any of the back-end stuff that's already done, I think it's doable. And I'm not going to say it's going to be like the most prettiest design that you're ever going to see when it gets done into the open beta, but that can be continued work on as long as the functionality is all there.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point of an open beta.
Yeah, and it looks many worldsy. I think it'll be fine. I think it's doable, and I'm going to be, spending a lot of my time on it. So, yeah, fingers crossed. I'm doing it right now. So,
excellent, awesome,
woohoo!
Awesome. No questions here. Just a massive thank you to all your hard work and that you're putting in. Thank you. Thank you. Where can we send Chewy coffee gift cards? Actually, this is something I wanted to set up. We should have a channel or put it in the information or something. I don't know. Matt, are you still here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we get you the wallet addresses for the developers? And if someone did want to send them, a couple bucks to get a cup of coffee or something, they can do that. And we'll just put that somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, let me have a think about it. We can come up with something for sure. Easy. Okay.
Excellent. Yeah. That way, if you do want to, send coffee to some of these folks doing a lot of good work, that'd be awesome. Don't send anything to me. I don't need it. This is my, I don't know what it is, but I appreciate it, but no, thank you. But I do think the developers who are literally just bleeding, their eyes are bleeding, reading code, for almost at a full-time job rate at this stage. A few months ago, I probably would have said, yeah, I'll take some money for a coffee. But at this stage, these guys are doing so much more than me because it is just heavy development right now. So yeah, if you want to send them some tips, I think that would be fantastic. Yeah. The tattoo. I still have not even contacted an artist, and I am so sorry. I promise it's happening. I have not forgotten. I want it, actually, because first of all, that tattoo is friggin' sick, and I literally want it on my body desperately. So it's just an incredible amount of juggling right now, between real life and the many different projects and me trying to make money while also building this out. Plus I have some personal things happening that I'm very nervous to discuss on an AMA because there are people personally connected to me that are likely listening. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get myself
Then you better stop. Yeah. You may want someone to step in for you on this one.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's just say it's very busy times and it's all good. Everything's good. But these guys that are now kind of taking up the mantle are just blowing my mind every day. And I can't help but just wonder where this is all going to go. So much love to everybody. This is just so cool. it's so cool seeing this all constantly come to life more and more and more with every day that passes. So I can't thank you all enough for being here. I mean, there's people listening in this AMA right now. The world is on fire. Your accounts are probably making you want to cry. You've probably lost your grandma's entire 401k on some degenerate YOLO. And here you are, curious what the team, the developers at Many Worlds is working on. And that's just beautiful. So thank you, everyone. If there are no other questions, I'm happy to wrap it up here. If anyone else has any last words, Matt, Gustav, Chewy?
Not really. We will see in the next for the next MAA. My personal focus will be on improving the infrastructure because there are still a few things to improve with the app. And I will also provide new APIs for the voting system in case it's needed. So stuff is ongoing and in the good direction.
Yeah, nothing from me. I'm just going to get developing.
Brilliant. Matt, anything? No, he probably has a client. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming to this AMA. This one really excites me because the groundwork is set. I imagine that each AMA, well, maybe not each AMA, a bi-weekly AMA is pretty quick from all lenses, right? From the regulatory lens and, partnership updates or even development. Like 2 weeks is a pretty small cycle to have big announcements every 2 weeks. So maybe not every AMA, but I think basically every other AMA from here on out, I think will just be better and better now that we have this really strong foundation settling in. So thank you all again. And we can go ahead and close it out there.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. Have a good one. Take care. And don't forget to follow us on www.manyworldstoken.com or on Twitter, ManyWorldsToken. Our Discord is discord.gg/manyworldstoken. See you guys soon.